Now we're going to go old school just for a minute because this is really important. Claude Hopkins wrote Scientific Advertising in 1923. Gosh, that's nearly almost 100 years ago. But the principles are so applicable to today that it's worth knowing about. And he was the first really to measure advertising results and test copy against each other, test messages against each other. So his way of connecting with prospects is to know who you're writing to, as we've said, speak in your prospect's language, which we'll dive into a lot, because that's significant. And then take the business of helping your prospect seriously. Offer a solution to a problem, make a promise, and prove that you can deliver on it. So let's begin really creating that picture of who your prospect is. You want to think about your prospect as a living, breathing person that is going to respond to your messages. It's someone who fits the description of the perfect buyer or the ideal buyer. You want to write down a name, give that person a name, because then that will make your copy more personal. Get a photo of the person, anyone that really reflects who your buyer is. And then create a sheet that shows you the interest, the personality, the likes, the dislikes, the habits, what they've bought before in the category, what they're reading now, what some of their hobbies are, all related to your product or service. Agora Publishing, which is a major publisher in the health and financial niches, they create very detailed customer profiles. They're also called avatars here. And they go into quite a lot of depth about the buyer. And we're going to walk through that item by item. A lot of companies create buyer personas or prospect profiles or documents along those lines to help them really understand the prospect. And Agora has created a prospect sheet just like this one here, and they dig deeper than anyone I've ever seen in creating that buyer profile. So let's take a look through this because it's kind of fun. And boy, you can see the difference it could make in your copywriting if you had this kind of background on the prospect you're writing for. So this is Frank Malarkey, and he's aptly named because, as they say here in the middle column, he's an opinionated cynic. And he's the perfect example of the Agora Health Publishing side of things, their typical customer. So let's walk through this, and then it might inspire you to create a persona for the buyers you're trying to reach. So we have Frank on the right here. That's a picture of him, and he's got a gleam in his eye that says, yes, I'm an opinionated cynic. And your mission is to turn that gleam into a believer and a look of excitement about your product. Now, let's look on the left column here, his background. This is the basic demographic information about Frank. He's 74. He's retired. He worked as a line manager in an automotive plant. We get very specific here. His marital status is he's married with 3 sons and 7 grandkids, including 5 girls and 2 boys. And he has a 93-year-old mother who's living in Tallahassee. His household income is currently $45,000 a year, and his net worth is $550,000. He lives in Fort Worth, Texas, in the house that his kids grew up in, and politically he's Republican, and he's an NRA member. Miscellaneous, he drives a Ford F-150 religiously. He's had yellow lab dogs his whole life. He served in Korea. He votes the ticket, and he shops at Walmart because it's cheap. So those are basic facts that you could find on a data card. Dig deeper a little bit into the backgrounds of readers. If you're looking at a journal data card like Men's Life or something, you can get more information there. But now let's dig deeper. And this is cultivated over time, getting to really research the different buyers of the product. So in the middle column, his personality type is he's an opinionated cynic. Frank knows he's right and he holds strong opinions. He's painfully honest, a straight talker. He's funny and sarcastic. Kids adore him. He wants a guarantee that things will work. If he tries something, he wants it to work because he doesn't want to waste time and money trying stuff that doesn't. Frank likes to be in control. He sneaks $20 bills to his grandkids. He'll skip the generation to do what he thinks is right for his grandkids. He talks and yells at the TV. He's kind of a dirty old man. He says sexist comments to customer service reps and waitresses such as hi, sweetie, and honey, and that sort of thing. He knows there's a God, but he's not a regular churchgoer. He's frustrated that his body feels older than his brain and his energy might be fading. Now let's look at the right column and at his hobbies and interests, again found from various resources. One of his favorite hobbies is arguing, or we might call it debating. He likes fixing things and puttering around in the garage. He likes fishing and poker. He's a hunter. He doesn't have hunting dogs anymore, however. He's been involved with CB Radio and ham. He goes to bull roasts. He gives to Rotary Church, Lions Club, Boy Scouts, all local chapters. And he enjoys telling others his opinion and viewpoints. He watches television, mainly right-wing political type stuff. He's a meat and potatoes person. He buys garden seeds online. He reads email and forwards off-color jokes to his buddies. He is interested in fishing lures, blogs, and review sites where he can share his opinion. He gets the local newspaper and reads most of it. And he drinks a Budweiser at the end of the day and a six-pack on the weekend. His doctor told him to stop this, but he didn't listen. Now we'll dig into some interpretation of this. Agora will say when they're writing a health promotion to Frank, what is his unspoken question? And they would say, why should I believe you? So you have a major skeptic here, a cynic, and he needs to find a reason to believe the person writing the copy to him, whether it's a doctor or an endorsement or someone who would be a peer. He needs to really believe in the person that's writing the copy. So what is Frank's need or problem or opportunity here? Well, he's taken blood pressure medication for 10 to 15 years, and he just keeps renewing it. He's had a couple of hernias. He's unwilling to make changes. He won't go to the doctor, so he orders his medications direct. He'll listen to friends and learn from it, but he won't admit it. He has a prostate the size of an orange. His wife might buy prostate products for him, and he would order other products from there, meaning online, for all kinds of things, including sexual prostate not working. He has a heart and angina problem. He's concerned about his sexual performance. He quit smoking after being nagged by his wife, but he still smokes cigars. And Frank has opinions and appreciates having them validated because it gives him ammunition to defend his point of view. It's very important to him. So in Frank's words, what is the need or problem related to a health product? Well, he would say, I feel pretty good for my age, but there are a few things that could feel better. I want more sexual energy and male strength. I want to find my own solution and stay in control of my own health. And I can make up my own mind. Just don't give me irrelevant information or wild claims. So what information alternatives does Frank have? These are the different ways that he takes in information. His grown children and his wife, he listens to them. He goes to weekly fat-chewing opportunities at the IHOP with his cronies. He watches TV, reads newspapers, and he follows recommendations from right-wing journalists that he respects, such as Fox and Rush Limbaugh. He's a Reader's Digest reader. He enjoys hunting and fishing magazines, AARP, and NRA magazine. So what motivates Frank to use your product if you were the one writing to him? Well, possibly he could improve his health without doing much. He's nervous about slowing down, and he wants to freeze getting older. He doesn't want things getting worse, and he doesn't want to go to a doctor. Drugs bother him, drug side effects annoy him, and they make him sick, so he wants to avoid them. Money back guarantee is important. Even though he won't send it back, he wants that kind of proof. And then he wants to find his own solution that works. So what exactly is Frank looking for? Concise, no bullshit information that he can act on. Evidence. He wants testimonials and other sources of proof. A credible voice he can trust. A voice that sounds like him. Common sense, validation, information he can spread easily, so it's got to be clear, understandable, and direct. Access to an actual human being, if he'd like to call someone about the product, improving his manhood, and that common enemy. It's the pharmaceutical companies against us, regular people type of thing. So what to avoid with Frank over on the right here? You don't want to try and change his mind. Instead, you want to agree with him and validate his thoughts. Don't ever make it feel like you know more than he does, because he feels pretty well informed and solid. You don't want irrelevant copy, like we said. I did not come to you for political opinions. Just tell me about this product type of thing. He doesn't want hype or claims that sound too good to be true. He won't respond to those. He won't respond to preachy topics. He won't respond to anything that's trying to make him do something or trick him into something or coerce him. So the keywords in the copy that you might use, I'm going to scroll a bit here, may include things like, "You're right, they're wrong, here's the proof, protect your manhood, very few do it right. As you know, or everybody used to know, it's common sense, old-fashioned common sense, or the bottom line. Make your point and then defend it quickly. The doctor that knows your name and will do more than just whip out a prescription pad will be his friend. Made in the USA is important. Some of the best experts right here in the USA. Why go elsewhere? And then backed by a strong guarantee. Let Frank dig where he wants to dig. Be sure to give him a pat on the back in agreement all along the way. He's buying a belief, and once he's locked in, he's sold on the idea. And if he's wrong, there's a lot more at stake." So I think they meant stake, S-T-A-K-E, but we'll let that one go. And then the final thing is, what does he purchase now? If you know what he buys now, you're more likely to resonate if you are speaking in kind of the same language that those other companies are, because he's responded to them as it shows here. So Real Advantage vitamins, North Star vitamins, Douglas Report, disease-specific books or reports, financial products, a Daily Reckoning and Daily Dose, house calls, these kinds of newsletters he's very much interested in. So that's an awesome, very intense, very specific prospect profile. And it would be kind of cool to do that kind of thing for you so that you can write copy that really resonates and makes an impact on your prospect.